Yeah. Okay, guys. So assume that this is your AWS account. So out of it, already one network will be there, guys. Okay. So here definitely subnet is required for every network. So guys, if you want to create any network in AWS, so first of all, what I need? VPC means virtual private cloud. So this is to define your network range. Maybe which range you want to take. So maybe 10 series. As I told you guys, always the VPC should be these three out of three series, guys. The 10 series or just a minute, 10 series or 192 series or 172 series. So always the VPC should be your private network. Should not only in AWS, guys. It's a general concept. Okay, so these are called as private networks. Okay, even in your office also, even if you're not using AWS, so your in office also they will create their own network by using these three only. So here also I can define my range in 10 series or 192 series or 172 series. Again, subnet. What is subnet, guys? Subnet is a so to reproduce the more IPs from this range. So we'll use subnet. Again, what is the third one? Gateway. So what is gateway concept, guys? To enter into this network. Maybe whatever the services you have. Okay, so here what you will have your EC2 instances in this network. So every EC2 instance will get one public, one private, one public, one private. Again here also public, private. Here also same. One public, one private. Okay. So why public is required? So for our purpose, for customers, maybe employees who are working on top of this server, okay, to connect to this server by using public IP only will connect to these servers. Here, your public IP provided by your AWS, guys. AWS has already set up IP addresses. They reserved the IP addresses. It may be somewhere from network provider they got some set of IP addresses already. Okay, so that is called as Amazon pool. So that from that Amazon pool, they will assign IP addresses to your services, your servers. Okay. Then from this VPC, you will get a private series, private IP addresses to your AWS machines. And why do we need these machines? These private IP addresses to our servers? Because it is for internal communication purpose, guys. Always in real time, there would be different applications, databases running on top of your servers. They should talk to each other. From this, maybe assume that this is application, this is database. So those application and database should talk from to each other, guys. So like they should be in a same network. Then only they can talk. So guys, even though they are in different network, that is secondary case. By default, they cannot talk, but we can make it. So again, that is a secondary case. But as of now, one network is nothing but in AWS. If you want to create one network, you have to create this stuff. Route table also. So already we discussed what is route table in your VPC. Route table is nothing but for this network route map. How to reach out to this network. That is what route table. So here we have to create these things. I think yesterday we created already, right? We created our VPC, subnet, gateway, route table,
Yes.
everything. Right? So guys, any
Yeah,
doubts
we
in that?
created.
Why should we create our own network? Again, VPC, guys. Already one VPC is there. So why should I create one more VPC? What is the reason?
For security.
Exactly, guys. Maybe some application, some teams in your project, okay, they they will ask you like, I need a separate network for my server. So in that case, so VPC will be created. Then after subnet, so in this subnet, your servers will be there. Again, this needs some gateway also. This is called as internet gateway. Okay. So to enter into this network. Okay. Now, guys, I want to give one task. So Malati, please go ahead. So I'll give you present role to you. So yes, Malati, please go ahead. Maybe I think I already have it. Just a minute. Let me go. Okay, no problem. I don't have right away. So take a notes. Take a task. It's a VPC related task, guys. What is public subnet, public and private subnet? What is public subnet and private subnet? Second question. Okay. So maybe one more thing I want to share. So after that, I'll give the task. Okay. So guys, are you able to hear me? Are you able to see my screen? I hope
Yes.
you are. Right. So did I start the recording? No. Okay. So guys, what is YouTube.com? Is it an application or database, guys? Is it an application or database?
Application.
Application, right? So, but you're seeing videos. Generally, your data, your videos, not only if YouTube.com, Facebook.com, Twitter.com. So many guys uploading the data. So many guys they're uploading photos, videos. Actually, that always, guys, this data and all, whatever the data you're uploading, not only those things, WhatsApp data also, the photos, videos, everything will be uploaded into your database, not application. So actually, in your organization, okay, so there will be two servers minimum, not one server. So actually, when you do youtube.com in your browser, guys, so when you type youtube.com in your website, in your browser, what will happen means it will go to that application server where maybe assume that this is AWS machine, your EC2 instance. Okay, it will connect to that EC2 instance, the application which is running here. It will connect to that server. Okay, but actually here nothing will be there, guys. Application is just an interface. So here in youtube.com, whatever the what are the functionalities you have, guys? You have playlist option, like you have search option, you can upload the videos, you can sign in, you can create your own account. So many options you have. So those functionalities and all you are getting because of this website, guys. Here they are maintaining that website and it will connect to this website, your EC2 instance. but here nothing is there. So assume that just I typed Dabang movie. I want to watch Dabang movie. So in such bar, I search for Dabang movie. So it will go to this application server. Okay. So in that application configuration, your application team will write the code something like it should connect to your database. So in the configuration of this application, they will write something like that. Please go to this server. Here, find out that video. Again, it will reach out to your customer. Maybe the YouTube who are watching that video. It will reach out to that customer and he can be able to see that video. So actually, the data will be coming from your database server, not from this server. You cannot connect to this server directly, guys. So an interface is there between you and database, because database is a secured one, guys. You need a security for that purpose. Even in real time also, what they will do, so they will take one subnet, maybe one network. Okay, this is one subnet, this is one more subnet. Here in one subnet, you will make it application server. In one more subnet, you will make it database servers. So they will create a private subnet for your database. What is private subnet? Again, first question answer I'm telling right away. Guys, there would be public and private subnet concept. Public is nothing but if you attach the subnet internet gateway, then it is called as public subnet. Okay, if you don't attach internet gateway and if you attach NAT gateway, that is called as private subnet. So what is NAT gateway, how to do that and all? Now I'm going to give it as a task. So question is, so let me write down. First, create a VPC. The range is, okay, this one. So already this task I completed. I already showed you. Create two subnets. Okay, so first subnet. Always, guys, if I want to create subnet in this range, the first two digits should be same. Then only I can say this is from this network. Okay, third one can be anything again. So something /24 means it should be greater than, guys. Always 16 greater than. So 24 is greater, right? So that means you will get 254 IP address here. 65,000 IP addresses you will get. /16 is nothing but. Okay. Here /24 means only 254 IPs in this network, in this subnet. So guys, still I do have IP addresses. Only 224 is nothing but 254 IPs only. How can I decide which subnet I have to take it here for my subnet? It's based on your number of servers, guys. How many servers you are going to create? Based on that, you will create your subnet mask. If you have 1,000 servers, you have to go with 21 or 22. Okay, so as of now, just assumption, I do have only 254 servers, maybe around 150 servers. Let's go with 24 masks. Okay, so create one more network. As I told you, always the first two should be same, guys. If I want to create a subnet, the first two should be same. Third one, already I given 0. I should not give again 0. I should go with 1 or 2 or something 3. Apart from 0, I can give one more. Again, the fourth one can be anything. So something like this is one more subnet. Maybe if I want to create one more subnet, I can give like this. It should not be 1, 0 and 1 are already used. So it should be other than 0 and 1. And fourth one can be anything, something like this. But for my request, 2 subnets are enough. Okay, so this one may just name it as public. This one name it as a private. Okay, third one is create internet gateway, IGW. and attach it to VPC and route table. So guys, already I showed this. This one also up to here, I already showed you how to do that. Nothing from your end. Simply you have to do the same, repeat. Now, detach default route table from private subnet. So guys, when you create a VPC, by default, you will get one route table. So if you create two subnets, for both the subnet, you will have the same route table. Okay, it's nothing. So it will be the default route table. Now for that route table itself, you attach this IGW. But my question is, for the second subnet, I don't want that default route table. So create one detached default route table from that private subnet. So create one more route table. Very easy, guys. It's not a big deal. Hardly. So 10 minutes it will take. 5 minutes it will take to do all this stuff. And attach it to private subnet. Now create NAT gateway and attach it to the second, maybe the private route table. Private route table is nothing but the second one. Okay, this route table you attach to private, right? So I'm calling it as private route table. So create a NAT gateway. So while creating NAT gateway, it will ask you which subnet you want to create. In which subnet you want to create NAT gateway. So guys, this step is very easy. So in VPC itself, so you will get a NAT gateway option. How you created internet gateway? The same way you have to create NAT gateway and attach it. So while creating this NAT gateway, it will ask you in which subnet you want to create. So select the public subnet. I'm clearly saying it is a public subnet and attach it to the private route table. So the NAT gateway is attached to now private subnet. Why it is required? Because guys, what is NAT gateway is nothing but, so you are creating this NAT gateway in this subnet. So always the traffic will comes from this subnet to this subnet. So here you created one IP. NAT gateway is nothing but kind of one IP, guys, in this range. Okay, you created here and attached to this subnet. So always the traffic will flow from here only. So even customer, so assume that this is your application server and this is your database server. By default, the communication will be enabled, guys, but only from here. Even employee also cannot connect to this EC2 instance, guys, because this EC2 instance doesn't have internet gateway because we created NAT gateway. NAT gateway means only, so from public subnet we can connect to this EC2 instance. Even to connect to this EC2 instance, you have to connect from here only, guys. First you have to log into here. From here you have to do SSH to this server by running SSH command. Okay, so for server also you have to connect from here only. From for application level also you have to connect from here to here only. You cannot connect to this server. This is because again security purpose, guys. So within a single network, again if you need more security, instead of creating multiple networks, you will go with this concept, public and private concept. Okay, so that is what your task, guys. So guys, any doubts here? EC2 instance in private. To assign. Already we did this. So guys, now onwards, if you finish these steps, okay, now onwards, if you create any EC2 instance in this private train, you won't get any public IP address. Even if you get public IP address also, you cannot connect to this EC2 instance because it doesn't have, this subnet doesn't have any gateway. Only NAT gateway is available. You have to connect always from to this EC2 instance. From here to here only you can connect. That is what your task, guys. So can I expect, guys, any issues, guys, any doubts here, any confusion? So clearly mention the names, guys. How to do that I am not saying, but what to do exactly already I given. Step by step you can search in the same way, guys. You'll get the answer. Can I expect, guys? Any issues, any doubts here? What to do? Guys, did you understand my task? Yes or no?
Yes, yes, Anna.
So I'm expecting from everybody, guys. So please pick it. So I pinged you in group chat. So please make sure that, guys, complete this task without fail. You have to do that because in AWS this is one of the key component, key concept. Should be real time concept also, public and private concept. If you have any doubts, please let me know, guys. You should not think for others. Don't think that others may think bad, maybe silly question, something like that. You are here for learning purpose. So I hope everybody is good. Okay, we'll talk about that grouping concept also maybe at the end of the class, guys. Okay. So I told you right yesterday. I asked you for grouping. We'll discuss about that maybe last 10 minutes. Yeah, Malati, please go ahead.
Can you make me as a presenter?
Yes, I made you as a presenter. Yeah. So can you open my Google Drive once, guys? One more thing. Can you go to that VPC concept? So here left hand side you can see the elastic IP concept. Elastic IP. Yeah. Left hand side there itself. It's gone already. It's going there itself. Left hand side. Come down. Yes. Click on it. So guys, what is elastic IP mean? Okay. What is elastic IP means? For your EC2 instance, every day when you reboot your server, your IPs are getting changed. Did you observe that, guys? Hello, guys.
Yes.
Did you observe
Yeah,
that?
we need to update
Every day your EC2 instance IP addresses are getting changed. But in real time, even if you reboot also, your IP address should be same, guys. Because that is must and should. There will be so many places they will hardcode these IP addresses and all. So it should be same always. Okay. So, but in our case, daily we are rebooting our servers just for to save our cost. But in real time, we don't reboot our servers, guys. Remember that. So it will be up and running forever until unless you have some scheduled maintenance, some upgradation. Okay, it will be up and running always. But any case, if you reboot also, the IP address should be same. How you will get? So here, this is the way. Elastic IP, guys. What is elastic IP means? So just create allocate new address. allocate. So guys, this IP now I can attach it to my EC2 instance. So that always that EC2 instance, just close that button. No need to log into EC2. From here itself, select actions, associate address. So here your instance details. For which EC2 instance you want to make it elastic IP, that related private IP address. Now associate. That's it. Now onwards, for that particular EC2 instance, this is a permanent IP. Okay, so this is the permanent IP now onwards. Even if you reboot also, you'll get the same IP. Now the next thing is security group. Security group. Go to the VPC concept again. So guys, did you understand what is VPC? Sorry, what is elastic IP? Any doubts? I hope no. Security groups. Below one. Above one, there itself. Above, yeah. So guys, security group is nothing but, so it's a kind of a firewall. So you can add a set of rule to each security group. While creating your EC2 instance, maybe let me share my screen. So guys, again, like this is my laptop. Maybe some YouTube website is running here in this Linux box. Okay, so maybe I do have internet gateway. I'm when I connect to this YouTube.com, it will connect to this server. But to read that data, that application data, it should enter into this server, guys. Reaching this network is different. Okay, you have to enter into this server and read that application. So guys, as we discussed in previous classes, every application has some port number, default port number. I hope you aware of that. Yes or no, guys? I hope you are aware of the port numbers. What is port number, guys? It is a tool to that application. So for YouTube is a website. Website is nothing but you have to maintain a web server here, something like Tomcat, HTTPD, maybe Nginx. So these are called as web servers, guys. So respective to that application, the door should be open, the port should be open. So that is where, as you are using AWS, in AWS we'll use security group to open the ports. So security group is kind of a firewall, guys. Firewall to open that port. From where you can access this network, this IP address, maybe this port number. So that is what security group. Every server, while creating that server, it will that option is there. Security group you have to select. Okay, so which application you are going to maybe install on top of this. So in that security group, you have to open that port. And if it is internal to your application, your office, you have to give office network. If it is for all the customers, it should be again in the security group. You should give all the networks. Maybe I'll show you now. So go ahead, Malati. So go ahead and share your screen. So we'll see that security group now. Yeah, first go to your services. From here also you can see that. So I want to go from instance level. So it seems all instances are stopping already, but fine. Select one of the EC2 instance. So definitely you should know that which application is running in this server. So go to secure. So Your security group name is Launch Wizard 1. Okay, select it. Now click on inbound. Edit button. So guys, already if you see SSH port, SSH is enabled for all the networks. What is SSH, guys? What is SSH? The SSH is a secured shell. So you are able to do putty to that server. What is putty? Putty is an application to connect to your Linux box. In that Linux box, that 22 port, that SSH application is running, guys. In your Linux box, every Linux box by default, doesn't matter whether it's a CentOS, Red Hat, Ubuntu, by default that 22 that SSH application is running there. So in your laptop, you are using putty application. That is client machine again. Your laptop is client. So by using that putty application, you are reading the data in that server. So putty is a tool to connect to your Linux box. So you're connecting to your Linux box via 22 port. So the 22 port, see, already open to all the networks. All zeros are nothing but all networks. So, but in real time, guys, you don't give this all zeros for 22 port number because so like have you heard any time like our customers will use the putty session to connect to our Linux box or Windows box? Are you connecting to youtube.com putty session? youtube.com, facebook.com, are we connecting, guys?
No.
Customers. Customer
No.
doesn't need that putty session. Only employees need it. So only office network range you will give here. But 22 port. Guys, always this is very, be careful about this point. So you should give only office network for your putty session. So that only from office you can connect to these networks, guys. Okay. So, but some applications, assume that youtube.com, if they give, if they open that youtube.com, that website port number only for office, does it work, guys, for customers? It should be open for all, not for employees. Yes or no? So based on application you are running, you should decide that. Is it for office purpose? Is it for customer purpose? Again, in all, is it for all customer purpose? Only respective customer. So based on that, you should choose it. Which port number and which network you want to open. So this is what the security group concept, guys. Okay. So now close this. Now the next topic is auto scaling and load balancers, guys. So maybe today we cannot start, but I want you guys to do something, guys. Can you please open my Google Drive, Malati?
Amar, one doubt. So, like you said,
Yes,
inbound
Santosh,
rules
tell
to
me.
be. So you said like inbound rules to be added so that only the office people can access. So what is the use of
Yes.
outbound if there are two inbound
Basically,
and outbound?
yes, you're right. Good question. So inbound is nothing but incoming connection. Outbound is nothing but outgoing connection. So let me ask you, assume that in your laptop, some application is running. Assume that your laptop is one Linux box and I'm connecting to your Linux box through putty session. Okay. So that is inbound connection to you. Okay. Outbound is nothing but that information I should read it from my laptop, right? So that is outbound to you. Incoming means incoming connection. First, when I open that putty session and if I give your IP address in my putty session, okay, it will enter into your server. That is incoming connection. Okay. Again, after reading that information, it should come out and that information should be. So when I do ls command, okay, actually I'm not in front of your laptop, right? So it is going to your laptop. It is entering into your laptop through that 22 port. That is incoming connection. And I'm able to see that output, LS output in my laptop. How it is possible? Again, so the information is coming from your laptop and displaying in my laptop, in my Putty session. So that is outgoing connection. Again, so when I open Putty session and it is outgoing for me, yes or no? And when that information is in, like I'm able to see, that means it is incoming connection for me. So this is what incoming and outgoing. Did you understand now, Santosh?
Yeah. So it's like if I'm deploying an application in EC2 instance, so for outbound I should use all zeros only anywhere. Is it true
By
like that or
default, it will be, yeah. So by default, it will be allowed. Okay, you no need to worry about that outbound.
okay?
It will be all traffic.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So guys, the next topic is auto scaling. So here, can you open AWS? Come down somewhere. You can see AWS. Open it. So here, auto scaling ELB. Just okay. Open the document once. Auto scaling ELB. Not this one. Come back. Go back. One more document. Same. Yeah. Open that one. No, not this one also. Come down. Come down. Come down. Come down. Come down. Not that one. Open this one. Auto scaling ELB. Open it. Same one. Above one more document is there. Just cancel this. Auto scaling ELB. Open this one. Both are same. Same. Go back. Come down. Open it. Yeah, I think this one. Yes, this one only. So guys, I want you guys to work on it, this document, and please create the auto scaling. So I'll explain, don't worry. So in tomorrow class, maybe today, it's not possible to complete this task. So just try to go through this document, how to create and all. But I'll explain what is auto scaling, what is load balancer. The very important concept, guys. So these two topics are called as high availability topics. High availability for your application. So guys, have you anytime heard about google.com down or Facebook down or Google, maybe WhatsApp down? Have you seen anytime? Have you seen anytime, guys? Google.com is down anytime?
No.
Very, very rare. Maybe I heard in TV news. That too, they will say somewhere in North America, for 5 minutes, that Google.com was not working. Something I heard, but I don't know. I never seen that. Okay, so because they will use the high availability techniques always. Since 10 years, those servers are running. Is it possible, guys? Any operating system does it run 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? Is it possible? Any operating system? Actually, it's not possible. 30 years, 40, but of course, some applications are there, some servers are there. Okay, since 30 years also some servers are running, but that is very rare cases. Okay, but still our Google, Facebook, I'm not saying that they are not running since 10, 15 years, But the thing is, they will use the high availability techniques. So those high availability techniques are this auto scaling and load balancer. Okay, so actually they won't maintain a one server for one application. They will maintain multiple servers for the same application. If one server down also, the other server will take care. So that is where these high availability techniques comes into picture. So I'll explain about these two in tomorrow. Okay, because in detail I have to explain. Because now we'll discuss about the grouping. Maybe who want to work with home. Okay, so that maybe guys. So let me create Excel sheet. It's